Hey there, community leaders. Imagine a world where every community thrives, where each individual has a voice and every effort creates a lasting impact. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, it's time to turn that dream into reality. Welcome to the Global Community Engagement Forum, your gateway to becoming a true changemaker. Think about the power of one community leader. That's you. Now, imagine harnessing that power on a global scale, alongside like-minded individuals who are just as passionate and driven. The possibilities are endless. This forum isn't just another meeting. It's a mission to engage, empower, and elevate communities all around the world. You'll gain insights from global partners, learn from impactful training sessions, and discover innovative business development strategies. But more importantly, you'll be prepared to make a real difference. You'll be equipped with the tools, knowledge, and network to transform your community and inspire others to do the same. Picture yourself leading initiatives that tackle pressing issues, creating programs that uplift your neighbors, and driving sustainable growth in your area. This isn't just about making small changes, and it's about sparking a movement. Now you might be wondering, how do I get started? It's simple. Join the Global Community Engagement Forum. Connect with passionate leaders from all corners of the globe. Share your experiences, learn from others, and start building a brighter future. By participating, you're not just attending an event, you're becoming part of a global mission. A mission dedicated to making the world a better place, one community at a time. So what are you waiting for? The world needs leaders like you. Leaders who dare to dream big, act boldly, and inspire others. The Global Community Engagement Forum is your platform to do just that. Join us and let's make a difference together. Because when communities thrive, the world thrives. Thank you for listening, community leaders. Dude, let's get out there and change the world. See you at the forum.
But one thing that
So
Maripaz
once you are
and you,
providing
Jarvis,
for
and
the
Mike
family,
can
you have to
tell
protect the family.
Eliseo and Barbara
So
that
that is
once you
why
learn
life
human
insurance
rights,
comes in.
it's in your DNA. It goes
Because
through
the
your
difference
bloodstream.
between the
And once
95%
you
Americans and the
learn,
Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. We want to welcome you to today's special time community engagement. And again, your Homo 7, Reverend Jarvis Bestman, Senior, and I'm here sitting right behind in studio here. And again, just I'm so excited about talking about these issues when it comes to human right based development approach. you know, um, when you look at the human right based approach to development, and when you look at the aspects of human rights and see what our responsibility when it comes to taking actions, then of course you will know that many of us are left behind. And not only talking about the issues of how do we come together. It's just more than coming together. It's just more than coming together. And when we talk in terms of the approach we actually develop, or what approach we design, in other words, what we are doing here, engaging our community, teaching people their rights and responsibility, I think it has been some time. We are coming up also tomorrow. We're going to be talking about it in our Zoom meeting. We're going to be coming up with something. I think it's late July in Liberia, a very kind of active conference that we're going to be. It's like an awareness of what we're going to be doing in Liberia. So it's just about taking responsibility, learning today, leading tomorrow. And if you look at some of the things that we've been doing, how can we take our focus from this thing to this one? How can we join together? We're talking about ministry work, and the life empowerment network is all about the fact. The truth is, look, there's no way we can make a change in our society. We all networking, doing it together, no envy, no jealousy. Like, do it together to make that change. That's the only way. And even from the family level, the community level, to the district level, to the county level, and then up national level, before international level, it has to start from something. You must start small, and people will start mocking at you. Oh, we're talking about sustainable development, and there are many institutions. I've been in the NGO world for some time, long time. Now, the reason why many times all of us fail, we think we are for succeeding because, well, our institution is being given some money, we're enjoying, things are going fine, so we don't have time for the other guys. Now, what are we seeing at the community engagement level? Look, let's forget about those mentality. If you have those mentality, then you mean that you can come on board of the community engagement, because uh, our focus is down to the people. No matter what you think, the focus should be at the level of the community. And if we kick the other guys out, let agree that I have an expertise more than you. You could think that, well, because you're big, you got the money, you got everything, but you don't have the spirit to drive. You don't have the expertise. You might not be born as a leader. So, but you drive, you have the opportunity because maybe your parents were rich, you got money, or maybe you got influence because you connected to certain people I might not be connected to. But what happened when we're able to build that relationship, that network up together? What happens? It doesn't mean that because I started it or you started it or Dr. X started it, so it means the glory going to him. No, it brings this thing called unity. It brings a lot of opportunity to people who actually don't have the opportunity. So let us begin to look at these factors. There are a lot of factors involved when it comes to uh, things are not reaching the people it should reach. The information is not being given because somebody somewhere have decided not to do it because, well, the thing that want to help that little community, they will be too wise. They will get wise guys. Or they have that nation or those people. They are going to be famous, and they're going to take over. You understand? So that thing started way back in the Bible time with the Israelites and the Egyptians. Okay, Pharaoh, and you can tell the story. So no matter what you think, the Christians were persecuted. They went down in a cave, but they grew. They still grew. Okay, so what am I saying here today? As we look at the human rights based approach to development, that's why we are as an organization. When you go back and check about when I was talking about the yellow machine in Liberia, the 285 yellow machine, what good will it do? It got a lot of good things to do. First in history. And people will think that you're trying to support government. No, but you're buttressing government effort. That is where the organizations and different group of people in the world, Liberians, who don't understand why they call themselves a civil society grouping. Go back and check about it, read about it. You're there to buttress government effort, not to criticize government destructively, but constructively. Hold government accountable. So no matter what happens, the human right based approach to development has to do with the fact that if we're talking about human rights, let agree that people right have been marginalized, right? They have been marginalized in their community because we have factories in that community, and the fact that the factory went to that community and signed a contract with the government through the House or the Senate, and after all these conceptual agreement, what were the benefit? And that way we are. Many times when we talk about human rights based approach to development, we don't advocate for that. We don't advocate for maybe labor, forced labor, a low pay, like talking with the guy from the Eastern Service Worker. And, those are things that affect our community. Thank God for the mentors. They are doing well. Um, when you go back, saw what happens. I'm not going to be talking about it because they have different companies, but I'm saying where if you don't employ the additional or the people who own the land, the citizen, who are you employing? Thank God for the government. I got information yesterday as probably alleged, if it's confirmed, that the government is giving every citizen the ID card, the citizen ID card free. That's a big boast to the government. That's a big boast to the government. And not to just talk about it, I want us to agree. I'm on this social media, and we need support. We need your support. We need everything we need from you, but we're not forcing you to do it. No, if you feel well, you can support. We are open. Go to our webpage, or just talk to us. Go and you can pay it, or you can go and scan the back on there, and you can make your contribution to different categories. We're going to be talking more about. We're going to be mobilizing, talking more. We need money right now. We need money. But why it is true for past 5 years, we as being legalized, we're in the second years. We're not concerned about the fact that we don't have it. So let's close it down. So passionate people don't do that. Passionate people keep going. Go back and check about who I am, man, where I come from. I'm sorry that in the middle of anything that will cause a man who have vision to drop it. So when we talk about human rights based approach to development, learning today leading tomorrow, we want you to understand something, that not everyone will embrace the vision. Not everyone will support your vision. They have many 501c here in the state, in other countries. Well, ask some of the guys, they're closing down. You can't even see them. You can't even see them talking about the organizations. You can't even see them because they don't have support, right? Because they don't have support. They've been existing for 5 years, 3 years, 4 years. So you must have the passion. You must have the passion to do it. And you can look, you got to put yourself together, learn, be an expert in what you're doing, understand what it means to talk about human rights. This is not just about talking about human rights. Oh, yes, we got big organizations that are doing human rights. But what are the responsibilities? Those of us who are talking about human rights, are you cautioning the people we're talking to? Are you talking to the children that they need to understand their right and responsibility? Are you talking to the citizens of our country that they need to know their right and they need to also know their responsibility? And if they know their right and don't know their responsibility to assume their responsibility, then of course, what happens is that they get stuck up and do things well the way they feel, because what they are not brought up that way. So in order for us to build up relationship, in order for us to network, I'm going to be every Saturday at 10, 2 o'clock Liberia time at 10. We're going to be talking on our private Zoom meeting. We're going to be talking about what the next step in Liberia or in Kenya or whatever. Now we need to get involved, volunteer for change. And you cannot change a community if you are not changed in your mentality. That's where we are. If you look at the past, the reason why people are divided is because either the person who are more powerful will bring division in order for you, because when you are divided, in no way you can develop. And that's what the enemy have used for many years to divide us. Even from the marriage home, sometimes a little boy comes into the crack in the walls and get to the wife and divide the husband and the wife. Because why? He seems to be doing better than the husband. So that's division right there. It either break the marriage, and that I'm going to be talking more about that tomorrow. But listen, to unity and this right and responsibility has to do with every person. You might be a lady, you might be a man, you might be a child. If you don't assume responsibility that this is what I'm supposed to do and I'm not doing, even though I have the right. I'm supposed to wash my dishes. When I come from school, I'm supposed to do my assignment. I'm not doing it. But we talk about the rights, and people assume that they have rights, but they don't know that they have responsibility. Because you see, if I go back to Liberia, because I'm focusing on Liberia more today, because there are some good things and there are some things that we need to learn as we even come with this awareness in order for us to establish what we're doing. And that is our focus point. So let us begin to understand that, look, we cannot develop our country if we got divided. We cannot be, self-centered, or probably we looking at politicians. We are just want to look at party sentiment, or individual love, and forget about the reality that we must love our country. So human right based approach to development, it has to do a lot. We can be pushing our points, trying to raise awareness to people who will understand their rights and responsibility. My responsibility, I have right, but my responsibility is to understand that because it's my entitlement and it's been protected by law, guaranteed by the state, which means that I now should assume responsibility. That if I go out there to do something, I must know that I will take responsibility of what I'm doing. The choice I made is the consequences will come. And then sometimes we say, oh, the government is doing this and that. But the government has a responsibility to also protect its citizen. We have to balance human right in the sense that we shouldn't be giving people right, knowing that you just teaching them the right, but they don't assume responsibility and see that they needed to act responsibly and constructively to something that they think they have right to do. Let agree that if I would go somewhere, how can you develop a community and you decided to go to that community as a person? You have worked so hard, and now there's good things coming up. So you say, "Oh, I worked too long, man. I can't allow. I'm not taking this money to put it on this thing here. I worked for long. Nobody was giving me money, so I'm not. I'm building only two well instead of building five. Okay, and so you deny the people of the right, because your responsibility was to make sure that even if it was four you put in there, then somebody will say, "Oh, at least he did well," because you got to you got to have something in other words to cover up for what you've been doing. But if you take the tree and only to put five, your responsibility was to make sure things happen for the people. So human right based approach to development, we need to begin to approach our leaders, our laws maker, our ministers, our religious leaders, people who are in authority, to go back and visit some conceptual agreements or some development that were carried out for years, and we are not benefiting. So the community, we're going to be talking more about it in our coming workshop, this conference coming up in July in Liberia. But we're going to be looking at the focal point is let civil society leaders take responsibility. Let us not just be looking at projects there and eating them, take the money and just I see that many times civil society I've been in civil society for some time, okay, and I watch we sit behind the fence because they overlook us more time when we're in Liberia. So we sit behind the fence, we look at them, they go in their clique, they say we don't have time for the insignificant guys. They have institutions, the Children Assistance Rescue Mission, that's what I established in Liberia. They were sidelined, even though all of us did it, we project, we say, okay, yes, okay. At the end of the day, they don't have time for you, they don't invite the organization again. All the focus is because they have their own clique. We can't build Liberia like that. And that's what's been happening for years, and term. So we are the Community Engagement Global Mission as a legal institution. We believe internationally that we are going to Liberia, we're going to share this information to community, from the community level, engage government. And I'd like to talk this here. There are some things that we're going to be engaging government on when it comes to subsidizing institutions like different NGOs that are actually doing well in Liberia. Civil society in countries are powerful, but it's not being controlled by government. As we can see, shouldn't be controlled by government. So you see, the problem with our society is they overlook the little guy who have the expertise and the desire, the passion to do the work, and they want to put people who they feel that if they put there, they are going to be in clique together because why? They're not going to oppose them if they ever suggest something against the people. So the human right-based approach to development has to do with the way we approach, the way we engage our lawmakers, our partners, our development partners, and people who are bringing good things to the country. How do we hold government accountable? Our lawmaker who we voted for to install laws that will help us not to suppress us. Those are things that we talk about when it comes to human rights-based approach to development. We're going to be talking more about it this month, but at the center of what we're saying, we cannot develop our community, we cannot develop our country when we don't have this approach, when we don't know our rights and responsibilities. We got to understand that our rights ends where another man's rights begin. So let's agree that I'm driving the boat. I'm the CEO, I'm the founder for the community engagement. And God will be speaking to me, but I have some my own idea, but then the board and other board of advisors, people who I concerned about what I know will be impactful, they talk to me and then we agree or disagree. That one of the board man funding board guy here would say, well, I only want to see money. Well, that person is now serious because, in more cases, board support, board is the one that we depend on to help the institution. So if the board would not be active, then you got to take some decisions to drive ahead. There were some guys who come to be part of it. There were people that will be part of what you're doing, or they want to be part of it because they see you driving the boat and they see progress. Some people want to come in because they see progress. Some people want to come in because they want to come to be witness, or they want to come to be spectator, or some want to be part of it. Some have the desire. Not everyone that comes into your organization or into what we're doing really want to do it. There are different reasons why people come to institution. The same way to go to church, different reason. But in this human rights based approach to development, we cannot be developed if we don't know how to approach or to strategize or to meet our lawmaker. We come from the community level, right? We talk to our community leaders. Our community leaders, maybe the community bring a complaint or maybe they are witness some things going on, or the rents in the community is so hard, or some people coming in the community very strange, they're not satisfied with them, or probably they see that the community is lacking, they have only one hand pump in that community, and probably maybe better ex community have two hand pumps, or the road leading to the community is no light, and the police is every time we come in at night, there's people attack us and they bring this complaint. How can you solve that problem? How can you approach your leaders first in the community? Discuss this on the round table. Probably when you have these conferences or this meeting, and come up with something, a resolution or something that you're going to petition, you're going to tell your lawmaker who is a representative for you. That is why they are there. So those areas that you lack in development is not only limited to jet building. Development is also talking about light, electricity. The road needs to be cleared. Our power needs to come in. The outlet is not open. Those are all development, right? So how do we approach those issues? We're going to be talking more about it in the conference in Liberia. And the problem about how do we go about it, and if we are not actually equipped or thoroughly equipped, then sometimes we don't meet up with some of these kind of demand. So if we don't meet up with these demand, then what next? How can we network? I may not have the money. I may have the expertise or the influence of connections. You may have the manpower, okay, to mobilize our young people in order to, like agreed, in order to clean our facility. or we're taking a cleaning up campaign every month. How do we mobilize resources in order for us to support that initiative? It has to do with the consensus of the community. Sometimes just $1 we put together, or maybe $5. It doesn't depend on even external. So now we don't realize that right in our community, right in that community, we have businesses that are there and they need safety. Then it is part of the process. So people will jealous you. People will say, well, you're not doing the right thing. You don't have to wait for them. Okay. As an individual or organization or whatever you are doing, do it because it's for the best interest of your community and the people. In the best interest of the people, in your community, in your nation, do it. And so, as we talk about this issue, let us begin to focus on rights, yes, but responsibility. We at the community engagement level believe in rights and responsibility. Now, if you look at the yellow machine in Liberia, that people have been talking about this all over social media, and I the first time it came up, I have a newsletter to that, and you can read the entire newsletter, understand what good weight 285 yellow machine do for Liberia. Is it destructive or constructive? All in all, it's very much constructive. So, how can we buttress government effort as an institution? As you know, continue to raise the awareness for people to understand their responsibility. We are sending two machines to Lofa County District Number 2. We are doing this. How can we manage? How can we take initiative, not depending just on government? So let us begin to look at the approach that we take in order to develop our own community, to develop our own home, to develop our business, to develop the organization, whatever thing you are doing. Like at the community engagement level, with in the absence of anything like grants, anything coming in, we have established, we are working on this sustainable business in order for us to be balanced in our operation. Why? Because a lot of people might not be able to start off from there. You might not have the grant as you expected to come. So where can you start from as a leader in your community? So we're going to be partnering, especially with the Children Assisted Rescue Mission and other organizations, in order to, like, some of the program we want to start there. They're gonna be heading the conference. We're gonna be talking to more people who are there, and as we go into that meeting tomorrow, we're gonna be talking more about it. How do we come together? We're going to be raising more awareness in communities, and for civil society leaders who want to be part of it. The information is going to be out there. You're afraid it's not, we're not tying it to anybody because we think that this is a time for us to not tie it just to go and eat chicken and come back again, go eat chicken and come back again and forget about the real issue in our community. I have been one of them on these different meetings. We've been going to eat chicken. We stay eating chicken, right? But there are times we eat chicken and we come back again to the community on a round table and discuss and talk about town hall meetings, different meetings, having meeting with different families, getting a data, finding the facts. So once you do your case study and understand what that situation means, what it means to develop something that will help individual who are going through some time. How many children in that community goes to school with all bag? They hold their copybooks in their hand, the rain beat it and they spoil. When they get to the school, they can use it. How do we mobilize that no child go to school with all bag? How do we mobilize that in that community we have not billionaires, but we have people who got some money, and but they have children in the same community that are not going to school? How do we mobilize in buttressing government effort, in raising more awareness? How do we mobilize about a woman who is being abused by her spouse all the time? So In order for us to be in the center of our community and discuss these issues, we need to first of all understand, yes, the rights and our responsibility. So when we understand the right and our responsibility, then we're able to jump on the boat. So that way we're going to be talking about it. We're going to be training and letting people understand to know their rights and responsibility. I understand the situation, which we cannot solve. Community engagement might not be able to solve nobody problem, but community engagement might be able to empower people to understand life empowerment, also to understand their rights and responsibility. So if you understand your right and responsibility, let it agree that you decided to take advantage or probably or something that you see or you saw 3 4 years ago, and now you want to use a means now to get started. What do you do? How do you see it in your own perspective? How do you go about approaching it? Is it going to bring development to your community? So when we look back and see most of the things that happen in our life, that happen in the communities, sometimes we feel so bad. Sometimes we want to leave up, want to give up our vision, we want to lay the vision down. Nobody helping us. Every time you try to put somebody putting you back. But I want us to understand as we talk about the human right based approach to development. If I ask a pastor or probably a man or whoever, how many times have we come together to discuss about our community? Or some pastors who are pastors, how many times have we come together to discuss about coming together to network and to do it with love? How many times? If I ask parents, how many times, you guys have come together as parents, maybe husband and wife, that look, we need to talk some things. Sometimes the lady is going different way, and you be thinking on it, and those, or he going different way. This is where we are. There can be no development. There can be no kind of progress. How can we change our community when political parties only there to think that they can buy up the other guys who are in position only because they think that, well, if they buy up the government or maybe pull the government down, not uniting, then their chance of winning the next election is obvious. You see what's happening. So in fact, they want to make sure, and those people are people who you can see. So in order for us to engage our community, our leaders, let us be very much constructive in engaging them. Let us not be destructive. Let us not look at it as, well, we're not talking about the good things that maybe will be happening in the nation. We're only talking about the bad. Why? Because sometimes it's dominant the bad. We know that. But when you see something, especially right now in Liberia, I'll tell you the truth. What we see, what I'm seeing a government that's serious about driving that country. That's what I see. So it is very difficult to deal with corruption. It is very difficult to deal with citizenship because it's foundational. You got to take some time. And I think, if I'm not wrong, one of the reasons why most Liberians will elect that leadership, I think, if I was in Liberia, I would have been one of them, is because of the experience. Remember that. Remember something. That experience adds a lot of value to the leadership in our country right now. So, except that leader does not want to go back and think about all the tricks and all the things that have been happening in government. So, in our human right based approach to development, we must always think about experience. We must always think about, if I elect this guy, or if I think about this lady, will she be able to do X, Y, Z? Or this guy does not have the experience, but maybe he has a leadership ability to change our community. He can be. But what am I saying? I'm saying this to say the approach in order for our country to develop, is to begin to look at what we see, what is going to be in our interests. It's not about government. You see, the problem we face in nations is we only look at government. If you look in the state, this guy, Flomo, the guy go all over the place and show some of the dirty part of America, right? Some of the places that is not clean, right? He showed those things to show you that don't just think that you are dirty, right? Look back here and see what happened right in our community. Nobody want to live because the people that are there, you cannot go and live there because the mentality of the people dominantly will overcome you. So we can start by changing that kind of community from that level. The mindset of the dwellers, the people who dwell there, the citizens who are there, who are occupying. You see, it is when you occupy that you be able to control. So you who are occupying, if you have a different mentality, it's difficult for you to control. So your control will be you controlling the play because dominant the other you guys doing the same thing. So no development can go there. People will not want to go invest in such a land where when they get there, somebody hijacked it. So in other words, the human right based approach to development has to do with constructive thinking, decision that will help to shift your destiny, your life. It's not just about, well, okay, let's get together here. You know how many guys, and we are moving from this level, right? We are not concerned about just having group coming together to talk about one thing. I'm going to be announcing we're going to that level where we're going to be live calling in people to talk about to give their points. You see, every year, every time you grow, and then every year we have two massive kind of awareness, conferences. So there where we are, we're driving now. We saw the vision. We keep talking about it. That's the same thing we're doing. But let's agree that if I want to talk about like the conference coming up, the bring law back to the church, conference coming up, it should be next week. Let me look at the calendar. But we're talking about that conference. We're talking about, well, how can we bring law back to the church going on law? We people that might be fire and for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, get their own points and leave. Everybody has something to do. And including the time, okay, I'm going to find issues, and sometimes, as we look at the situation and we are going up, we are not going backward. There are people out there that want to be part of what you're doing, but maybe you keep somebody there and they are just on the fence. Keep them there on the fence and then bring somebody in. Why? Because we got to move forward, right? It's not about, almost like you and the woman together, you and the guy together. He doesn't have time for you. He doesn't think about your decision. He always shun you. You guys don't have one word, and then he's keeping you down all the time. So you feel suppressed. You don't have the voice. You don't have to. You're not able to take decision. So as we talk about this human rights and the human right based approach to development, I want us to begin to take keen note on some of the factors that hold development from the church level. I'll tell you the truth, those of us who have been part of the local church, from what a big international, whatever church, there are a lot of good things that actually would have happened for some of the big churches, which did not happen because of the same thing we're talking. You see, you have rights, but your responsibility is not to agree as a leader. You gave me right. I have the right to say, okay, I want you to be on the board. I have a final decision to say, okay, you will be on the board, or you will not be on the board, or I want you to be this because the visionary. But one thing, if I'm the visionary, we begin to think that anybody tells me something about Sister X because Sister X is on the board, or Sister X is ready doing well, I got to be very careful because my responsibility is to take decision. I will help the institution and not to destroy it. Our responsibility as citizens is to take decision that will help us and not to destroy us. So the human right based approach to development has to do with our mentality, the way we think, the way we apply things, how we work together to change our society. There are leaders that have been sent out here, and well, many leaders will say, "Well, let's get rid of this thing, let's do this to take that, and let's take power." Right? At the end of the day, after many years, you have destroyed the fabric, the foundation of what you were building, only because of envy, jealousy, discrimination, and everything you were doing. At the end of the day, the generation that is coming in the next 40 years to come, in the year 20 years to come, will start to suffer because why? You didn't build it on Christ. You didn't build it based on the facts. So human right based approach to development has to do with our mentality, the way we think about the next person. We only think that, well, we get envy out of the other girl or the guy because we cannot do what they are doing. I could be the best guy, right? But I'm not able, and I'm just only there to do something to destroy the community. I'm not there to build the community or the nation up. I'm in fact, it's a shame. I'm bringing shame to my parents, to the community. But the person who want to bring good tiding and good verbs, we want to kick them out. So our responsibility is to begin to look at the way we approach the issue, the way we talk to people who are bringing good to that institution, to that community. They are not doing nothing bad. So encourage them. Encourage investors. So when our responsibility as lawmaker, when it comes to the lawmaker, our responsibility is to make sure that we don't drive investors away because of our personal aggrandizement or what we want from them. If they decide not to give 10%, you say you have to give this 10% before we sign your document, but you're not interested in what they want to do for the people. So the human right based approach to development has to do with you and myself, who are civil society leaders, community dwellers, citizens of your country, to go and petition your lawmaker to say, look, this is what we don't want. If you don't do it for us, we're not talking. The next time, we're not going to vote you in. And thank God for Liberians. We are going to that place. Little by little, we will get there. And there's no time to play joke about our country. And maybe other guys come on Facebook. Facebook, social media is a funny play. AI can play all kind of trick. So let us not look at AI. We are here because we want to occupy, right? And want to make sure the message go. We got to be here. That is not an option. But my concern is that not to look at everything people do here and just think, well, it's good. Propaganda. Only because the thing, they can degrade your community or your nation and want to come to power, maybe because you will say, oh, I don't like the way the government doing, the poor were in poverty. Look around the world today. Look around the world today. All of us here, it's stranded. A lot of things going on in the world, not just Africa. If the world that can export actually import, what happens to you who does not even have to export? So you want to do so when you are importing and the country that you're importing from, that country have a breakdown, economic constraint. There's a war going on there, and this thing happen in the Middle East, and this and that. How do you think that you think things is going to go? So you got to be looking at these factors. So engaging your lawmaker will be one of the important points, and one of the first step we got to look. Okay, and engaging and constructively, not because, well, you feel that they are not in your party or they're in your partisan, so you want to start to buy them up then, so that you think the next time maybe the citizen you put the citizen against the lawmaker because maybe he did not go to your meeting one time, or probably maybe you think the rest riot or maybe the rest increase in your community is because of him or her. You gotta be constructive in no in making decision, because there where we have been fooled many times. We lose good leaders. But thank God for Liberians. Our eyes is opening. The purpose of a community engagement global mission is not just to do one thing and forget about the reality of what we were built for. That means, let's agree that we have companies coming to Liberia, right? If we, which we are doing, we're going to extend some of the power will be given to the guys back home to know, to take stock. And when you do your assessment, if you do your assessment and understand that you found out, about something, maybe need assessment. Let's look at need assessment, right? If you do your need assessment, that means what are the needs in the community? What are some of the things that the community need? And we do an assessment, which I'm going to be sending out there to talk about it during the conference. Um, one of the need assessment would be housing and food, because we're talking about a conference coming up. And when we're talking about this need assessment, you will notice that many people go hungry, right? Many people are homeless, sometimes live in shelter. Those needs assessment will be developed, and then you can make recommendation to the government, to your lawmaker. Okay, and that means civil society can come together to do that. But our need assessment is just about what we want to do to start to promote when it comes to homelessness and hunger, which is one of the powerful things that destroy people. If you're hungry and you're homeless, you're vulnerable. Anybody can come to play on your mind. So how can we start to talk about it? How can we be self-sufficient, not just dependence on something else? Agriculture is one of our target, right? And I'm not going to talk about it here, but those are pillars that we think we're talking about sustainable development. Let us begin to look at things, businesses that are going to help us, even if we don't have the money. Let us put this plan together. Let us begin to engage people so that other people can find place to where they can get their income, where they can work. That's what we expect from many of our leaders who are political leaders. That's what we need to be talking about, not to go in power. Then we say, okay, I'm there now. So Liberia is, and the world is going from this place to this place. We're no longer the same. There can be no way we can, the world is going to be the same. Or somebody who eyes are open to what is going on now, we think they would still be the same. You got to change, because when people who don't see it to be the way you see it, then you say, no, okay, I think I got to go the way they're going. No, as long as you're saying it the right way, and as long as you're looking at the right thing, keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. Because it is when you keep doing what you're doing, and well, somebody will come up one day. My brother happened, I don't want to talk about that because it happened, obviously. And I want to thank you for following us. And, as we come to this closing community engagement, I want us to realize that except we can do it, we cannot develop our community. We cannot develop our home. We cannot develop anything. Because one person has succeeded. So because of success of that one person, he or she decided to suppress the other guys to keep them behind. That mentality must go. We now must begin to think about how can we drive? How can we develop ourselves, our community? How can we engage to develop? So the human right-based approach to development is all about constructive engagement. It's not about destructive engagement. When we talk about the base approach, how can we approach our people? That should not be in the case of political maybe political reason, maybe because they are opposition. So I'm going to approach the government destructively to discourage them, so that the people who are supposed to vote for them will feel that, well, they're not qualified. So in human right based approach to development, we engage government constructively. That means, let agree that the conceptual agreement that was signed, we a certain matter was not ready for the people not benefiting. Okay, we can engage government, because that is the base approach. That is how we approach it. We engage our lawmaker who are in that area, and who represent or in the House and the Senate. We talk to them concerning how we feel. Since this company came here, maybe they only employ 10%, they should have employed 100%. Since the company came here, they're supposed to build 5 houses, they only built maybe only one. Since the company came here, well, we have been suffering for hassle, too much explosion. Our people are dying. That is your right. But how do you approach it? You have a protest, right? You want to protest against that. Our protest should be peaceful. Let's agree that we stood up on the road, by the wayside, by the roadside, right? Or went to the House of Representatives, all down to the mansion, whatever place we want to go. But we are not standing on in the middle of the road where the car will have to pass. We are standing on the sidewalk, probably with our placards, maybe for days, telling our lawmakers, look, this is what we say, and this is what we mean. That is peaceful protest. Okay, so then we are engaging. That means our lawmaker is in the know. The lawmaker is there to receive the petition. And you petition, and maybe you took 2 days or one day, you petition your lawmaker, and then maybe they gave you a few time to hear from them. You keep following up. You have a representative to keep follow up with them, and make sure that you have massive awareness why it's on the decks. That means you have talk shows, you have different, and that's what we're going to be discussing when doing the conference in Liberia, and it's going to be a live conference. But let us begin to look at the facts. Let us begin to drive it there. Let the people begin to know that, look, not everything you see on Facebook you accept. Not everything people talk on Facebook, well, okay, we against this thing, or putting flyer and placards, you accept. No. Try to do your own analysis. Try to analyze. Try to ask God for a discernment of spirit. Try to make decision that will be in your best interest. As I close today, I want us to begin to look at these factors. Our human right based approach to development is crucial, and everyone needs to be cooperating. Everyone needs to follow this, and we can make a big difference in our society. And I want to thank you, man. And I'm so cheered about this. Every Friday we come here, and we're going to be talking more about this human right based approach to development, because that is where we are. And we need to understand we can only have this development when we, as people, I'm talking about people, constructive people who understands why they were called, why they are here, why they might be given the right to overcome this. Thank you for listening. Until we